I've got the bloat cure to help you get rid of all that bloat and stop your pain and discomfort for good. So keep those balloons, you'll enjoy this. Here with the cure is Dr. Robin Chutkan, the go-to gastric doc, who's changing the way we think about bloat. Thanks as always for being here.
Thank you for having me.
The first problem that you all talk about is you feel backed up, like everything's sort of stuck. It's just not coming out no matter what you eat. Why is that the women feel that way?
Well, most people don't know that women actually have a longer colon than men. Our colons are 10 centimeters longer on average, and they're not just longer, there are lots more twists and turns to them. All our female parts are down in the pelvis, and so is our colon. So it has to wrap around the uterus, the fallopian tubes, the ovaries, the bladder, makes a playground for bloating.
So do women make as much gas as men do?
More.
More?
More.
I knew it. I knew it. All right, so for this naturally curvaceous colon that we have, what do you recommend?
So I recommend something called the Happy Abs massage. So you take a light weight, 1 or 2 pounds, lying on your back at home, and you basically circumnavigate your belly button. It's really important to go in this clockwise direction because that's the way the products of digestion move through the colon. So you want to make a nice big circle moving around, and that will help push the products of digestion, all the gas, out to the finish line.
You do it for a few minutes?
Yes, a few minutes, and it's nice if you're relaxed. Maybe put a little heating pad on first, works wonders.
Have your man do this for you. All right, the next bloat problem is it takes forever for you to fully digest your food. Why is it that women have difficulty with this?
Well, this is a classic slow transit problem. And just like some people are short and some people are tall, some people take longer to digest their food, and it takes longer just for everything to move through. So I have a test that I love to recommend to patients. It's called the corn on the cob test.
Corn on the cob
Corn
test.
on the cob. It's really low tech. You eat a piece of corn on the cob, and then you see how long it takes for the corn to turn up in the bowl, in the toilet bowl.
Ooh.
Because the corn isn't fully digested, so you can see it in the stool. If it takes longer than 36 hours, you're suffering from slow transit.
Well, it doesn't all come out at once, probably. Doesn't it come out, you know, some of 24 hours, some a little later?
Absolutely, yes.
So where the bulk comes out?
Where the bulk comes out. No pun intended.
Hey, thank you. Dr. Chutkan, punster. All right, what's the cure for a slow transit time?
What I like to call the transit accelerator. Ground up plant fiber, psyllium husk powder. And what this does is it bulks up the stool and it helps to move everything through. It sort of unclogs you. But it's important to drink it with lots of water because you've got to get through about 20 feet of small intestine to get down to the colon. So big glass of water, heaping tablespoon in the morning will clear you right out.
20 feet of colon before it gets to where it needs to be?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. All right, the next bloat, no wonder there's so much bloat. You start out with the day with perfectly flat abdomen, and then by nighttime you look like a blimp. So who here feels that's their situation? Yeah. Even the men have their hands up here. So if you start your day bloat-free, why is it that you accumulate gas during the day?
So a lot of people have a condition called aerophagia, which means air swallowing, particularly if you're talking on the phone while you're eating or drinking, sucking on hard candy, chewing gum. These are all things that can cause you to swallow air, and you can literally go up 2 dress sizes by the end of the day.
So I was curious, does this really happen? I mean, I've heard rumors about this. So to find out myself, I asked a brave audience member to take a picture of her breakfast time bloat. Now here she is, with the breakfast, nice and thin. And this is her bedtime bloat later that day. Does that look familiar? And Mary Ellen is joining us now. So how does that stomach feel when it's that bedtime bloat picture?
Humongous, almost pregnant. That's how
Really?
big it gets, yes, very full.
Does it ache you?
Somewhat, but it's just very round and large.
So Dr. Chutkan described a bunch of mistakes that women make with this aerophagia, swallowing air. So what kinds of foods do you eat? What do you suck on during the day?
I do a lot of gum chewing, which I hear is a part of the problem. A lot of gum chewing, a lot of, drinking of, coffee, tea. I know the sweeteners are no good, but the artificial sweeteners, that's what I'm a fan of.
Dr. Chutkan, show us this cure you have for folks who have a lot of bloating during the day.
So it is all about eliminating sad gas. And I'm going to run you through what this is. S is for soy products. They have an estrogen-like effect, and that bloats you. Artificial sweeteners, Mary Ellen, I think you're guilty of this one. They get fermented by bacteria in the gut. They produce a ton of smelly gas. Bad idea. D.
Is this smelly too?
She left that part out.
That's the question. I'm a doctor. All right.
D, dairy. More than half the world is lactose intolerant. That could be you. You may not realize it. The gas part is a part that's really hard to give up. G, gluten. Delicious, but irritating to the small intestine if you're gluten intolerant, which many of us are and don't realize it. So G is a problem. A, alcohol. Alcohol tastes great going down, but it's very irritating to the lining of the stomach, and it can also reduce production of our digestive enzymes. So that's a big bloater. And S, the last one, sugar. Sends your bad gas-producing bacteria into a feeding frenzy. Not a great idea if you're bloated. So what I recommend is eliminating sad gas, all 6 of them, basically everything you're eating and drinking, for 10 days. And then add them in one at a time so that you can figure out which one is the main culprit.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you for sharing the pictures. I know some of them are hard, but you won't have that big, pregnancy feeling later in the evening.
Yeah.
If you want a lot more information, Dr. Chutkan's got a wonderful book. It's called Gut Bliss. It'll teach you all about bloat and lots of other things about your intestines you want to know about. I'll be right back.